Hello everyone, I'm Havoc, and this is Factorio Space Exploration Plus. And I am over here at our unloading area for the rockets. I have been adding in some power poles and fuel for trains over here. Well, actually I didn't do that one. Oops. Got to put some there, but that's okay. So what I'm looking at now is I need to get steel coming over here and set up, and then I also want to look at where these are landing in space and start figuring things out, because right now I've only got iron and copper, I do believe. Let's take a look real fast. We can look here, click view surface. Yeah, I only have the iron and copper coming out up here so far, and I'm going to need to get the other resources up here and then start expanding this and start building up here. Another thing that we need to look at is I've got issues where I have enough of some resources and not enough of others. Oh, and you're going to notice the robots are quite busy. So you'll see there's a robot highway going on over here, and that is coming from our landfill, which is just kind of using up the last bit. There's 176,000 and 2.7 million. This was, I want to say, 21 or 22 million stone down here that I have been using, or I've already used a lot of it to landfill this many episodes back when I did a major expansion. But I've been trying to get rid of this because I want to utilize this space down here, and this is kind of in the way. So what I did is I just have at the very end, it's all kind of being fed into here, and these are active provider warehouses, which then tell my robots, hey, go empty it. And I've got loads and loads of logistics storage space up here for them to come and unload it. And if this starts to get full, I'll just drop another one down. It's not a big deal. What I need is to get this available space down here. I know space is such a scarce commodity for me, but I'm more thinking of the fact that I can better utilize this area rather than sending a train that goes way out somewhere to get, you know, a resource and then comes way back. There's a lot of downtime, and sure, you can mitigate that with more trains, but the more trains you put on a map, the slower the game runs. You know, yeah. There's a trade-off for everything. That was weird. Those were blinking. They did that little blinking thing there. But it's two bots going out here to carry fuel. Okay, I was about to say, what are they randomly going out for? But getting distracted. Let's go ahead and let's see, trains. Yeah, I've got some train stuff. I can go ahead and drop down a train and tell it to start bringing steel over here. Super easy. So get this into place and just leave it the solid red. That's fine. I don't need some special coloration, but yes, this one is going to be steel. So what I want you to do is look for hold on, what is this one called? Aha, so I've got an issue here. This is going to be steel space drop off. There we go. We're looking for steel pickup. Right, and then we're going to do full cargo, and then it's going to come to steel space drop off until empty cargo. Have at it, my friend. Don't run me over. I'm just standing right beside it. Whew. Alright, so that can go do what it needs to do. I need to drop another one down because, again, I'm trying to have two. If I may need to add a little bit more over here to the stacker where our steel trains wait to fill up. I may need to shrink this up just a tad so I can add more slots over here in the stacker for loading. Right now I don't have that many trains, but I am going to be adding more and more of these as we go. So, yep, what we were looking at here is that I need mass production of green circuits. What I have down here gives me 2 blue belts, and that's great, but it's not enough. It's not enough. Also, what is going on with my plastic? I'm just now noticing I am struggling for petroleum gas. How interesting. These few are empty, but these have some in them. I need to figure out a better... See, this is not the greatest setup I have going on over here. I need to do some changing around on that. But if we look what's going on, we have plenty of light oil. Are we not cracking light oil enough? Okay, so this is the issue that I think that I'm running into, is that I am trying to pump enough to supply all of these from one pump. A better setup would be to have each one having a pump filling this up and it free flowing through a pipe. Let me fix this real fast. I'm getting derailed, but that's okay. We're fixing problems that will help the factory run better. Oh, no, I know exactly what the issue is. It's that this is flashing on and off because this is hitting the threshold that I set for it, while these are building up more. So it's not evenly distributed. You see, this one has the most, and so on and so forth. So what is this one set to? Well, what I can just do here is copy the settings over. This is going to be a bit of a mess here. That's okay. Now I need to do the same thing. This is going to just drain these completely down. I want to say do that. I didn't need that. All I want is from the one tank the pump is attached to over. So this is incorrect here. That's not what I clicked on. Whoa, it's going everywhere. I don't need that. I need the connection here, connection there. So what this is going to do is these are each going to read the tank they're attached to, and if it is greater than 100,000, which it is, this turns green and it pumps this full. And that will better balance this out, since I wasn't actually making use of these other outputs anywhere. That'll be just fine. What do we have going on here? This is pumping. Aha. So I know exactly why this one has the most. And that's because our heavy oil cracking is all dumped into this single pipe. So, not great. A much better method would be to connect all these together. And then, let's see, how far can I go? Right about there, and we are going to just simply do that, and that will shove into, I mean, it's still going to prioritize this one first, but it can overflow into each of these, and this is going to fill this pipe up completely, and that'll fill these up much faster. That's better. That's just some minor improvements. Now that I'm using at a much higher quantity the resources that are here, my original setups aren't working the best. So let's also look at this one and figure out what's going on here. We barely have any. So we have an absolute mess. This is going around and under. This is coming out and going where is this going to? Okay, so we have a pretty significant odd issue going here with I set this up crazy, and I think the best thing to do here would be to change this around. One side is outputs, one side is inputs, and even them up, including all of this mess here. Oh, yeah, what am I thinking? That's going to be full of stuff. Let's just empty all of this. There we go. So let's change this around. What is this coming from? So that is directly from there. Here, let's go ahead and just clean up a few things. I think I just accidentally grabbed a robot out of midair. Whoops. So what we're going to do is we're going to say this side is all inputs. All inputs freely flowing amongst one another. And that's an input, that's an input, and then this one is an input. So we're going to change this around. Doing some house cleaning. Like so. So this is all inputs. Now we have two output lines over here. And I think what we're going to do is just set this up with 4 pumps all flowing out. Connect it up. And then I can do this in a much neater fashion here with the pipes. Whoops, I need a regular pipe. There we go. And then I need 2 different outputs here. So I can just come straight down with 1, and then if I come kind of where this one is, a touch, I should be able to eke out a decent amount from there as well. There we go. Now it should slowly fill these up because we're pulling from all 4 of these. It should be able to keep the pipes pretty saturated. Now just keep an eye on that. But now we have a much more balanced system. From we were taken from one and the other. It was just awkward. Awkward. So we are going to put back our barreling of the petroleum gas. Oops. Empty barrels. We'll just say 100. Hopefully that's good enough to maintain everything, and then drop that down. And I think I had speed modules in there, which is why I had 4 extra. Okay, so that should take care of all of those things. It's much better. How are we doing up here? None of these are backed up with anything. They're processing as quickly as they can. And we're looking good over here. I probably should do the same thing here again, where I'm... You know what, if I just take this one away, doesn't it force it all into this one? It sure does. So that will balance out. But here's another issue where I need to change things up just a touch to more, not perfectly balance the loading here, but make it more balanced, because they will flow between one another much faster this way. Okay, and then could also, no, so I don't want to balance the output here because this one I'm not metering at all. I want it always making as much lubricant as I can hold down here. And then the excess goes down here, so that's fine. What we can do is simply balance these two as long as things are good there. There. Now we can pull out a 2, and then the 1 will go over to there constantly. Looks good. Well, we just fixed a lot of the oil issues. Oh, and look now, plastic is backed up like it's supposed to be. I just had not noticed that. But, yeah, the green circuits. Factorio, you ADD game, ADHD, you know, going along, and the next thing you know, you see one issue, and that leads you to another issue, and then another one. Okay. Yes, I need to set up an area to do the green circuits in mass production because I need loads of them, and I'm also going to need more plastic because I need loads of reds and all the way up to the blues moving forward. But I need to come up with a good way to produce lots of greens, and I was working on this little setup right here for a modular build because I can change these belts around, these right here that are carrying the stone tablets, and feed them from here. I just need to bring stone bricks into this one belt and copper in here. And what I can do is I can change this build around completely by feeding everything from this side, resources in from the bottom, and then the green circuits out from the top, or vice versa if I want to flip it around. But essentially this I can stack linearly. So if I look at this and say, how much copper is this going to use? It'll use 48 copper, which I can very easily do because it's 45 per blue belt, and I can really supply 2 blue belts. But here's the thing, is that is going to produce 119 of the coils, and I only need 108 consumption. So I need 11.71 less than that, which means that I really don't need the 48. I think I might be fine with just 45 exactly. So I can set this up to just split one blue belt like I have it now, where the copper plate is coming down one side of the line. I can do that very easily. So I can do, each one of these is going to produce me a full blue belt's worth of green circuits, right? Because it produces 47.66, which I'm not going to get the 47 out because I can only move 45 a second on a belt. And then it consumes 36.25. Whoop, that's not what I wanted. Uh-oh. That's the key. This one produces 47 off of 9. 9 stone bricks a second will produce the 47 stone tablets a second, which is plenty. Plenty more than enough. No issue right there whatsoever. So what we're going to look at is if I can do, what am I going to need to multiply this out? Because I'm going to need probably 14, maybe 16 blue belts of green circuits, which means each blue belt of green circuit out takes a blue belt of copper in and 9 stone bricks a second. So if I do, let's do this right here. So if I say I'm going to go for the 16, I need 16 times the 9. Nope, that's 6. Hold on, where's this clear? 16 times 9. So I'll need 144 stone bricks a second, and you divide that by the 45. You get, we'll just say 4 blue belts of stone brick, and then the 16 blue belts of copper will give me the 16 blue belts of green circuits out. So we need to look at what are we going to need for that. That means I'm going to need 4 trains of copper, because each of my trains of copper, I'm carrying 4 in, right? I can make a blue belt from 1, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. If I need 16, that means I need 4 trains. Can I even sustain something like that right now? I don't think I can. I need to look at, I'm going to have to add in more. Right, so right now I'm only producing half of that currently. And some of this is going to be consumed in other areas, right? So I'm using copper. We're going to be using copper in space. We're using copper for lots of other items. So just for greens, I have to expand my production elsewhere, primarily here. This is the stacker here is going to be an issue as well, because I'm going to have a lot of trains. Perhaps we need to change this a bit. So it's fairly simple here, though. The beauty of this is that I already have most of the things set up. I just need to run I need to set up more smelters and run the belts to them and run the output belts over to this other side, which I'll probably just end up turning these. So they're going to go, input at top, output at bottom, bring the belts over and feed in from here. And that will bring these other ones online. But then the issue that I have, like I said, is that if I run the green belt circuit build that I'm planning on building wide open, it will consume everything this can produce. And I'm using copper elsewhere. So I need to come up with maybe I just build another one of these, honestly. I mean, I just build an entire another copper area. But for now, I may be planning a little bit bigger than I actually need. What we can do is tell this I don't need the RoboPort or these belts here. So we have to swap this around. But what I need to do is simply drop this down over here. Honestly, it can go anywhere. I actually have to think about the output belts over here. So let's hold on to that for just a second. That's going to take up the majority of this area. I'm not really going to be able to feasibly fit in much more over here. So the reason I left this tidbit sticking out is to put a couple more trains in if I needed to. But 2 more trains will push it out to here, which will push things beyond what I'm capable of doing feasibly. Let's think about this though. I have room here for 4 more roughly if I move this, right? So let's see. Where'd that blueprint go? Do I have this backward? There we go. Okay. I'm trying to figure out why it's not lining up just like it's supposed to. Yeah, so I could fit 4 more right there. Just thinking out loud here for the moment. which means 4 more will hold 1 more train in, and then I will have to move this in order to fit the rest. I think that's what I'm going to try and do here. I think I can get just a little bit more out of this area than what I'm getting right now. With a little bit of organization, all I'm going to do is kind of shift this. Can I fit you right there? Right there. That way I can squeeze in just a little bit more. Let's see, this I should be able to just move. Because I'm about to be trying to squeeze in here some more furnaces. I can throw that copper on the line. Perfect. So let's drop our blueprint down to add in our 4 additional smelters. And this is going to require me to do some more undergrounding magic over here because I got to fit the 4 right in here. And this is going to be interesting. Okay, so it's just enough. I was afraid it was not going to work, but it will work just fine. And I might just end up turning these where those 4 go down, and then this will add me another train. And then I can get this same setup, hopefully right down in here. And what that's going to do is that'll allow me to get 6 trains into this build, right? Because this is 2 trains. I'm going to be expanding this to be a 3rd train's worth of production. And then I'll have 3 down here. So what we also need to do is go ahead and say, hey, I need 3 more setups, but I don't want all of this mess here. Excuse me, not 3 more. I need 2 more. I just need to add on. That's not going to give me what I want. Nope. Can we? A little rusty here. Okay. So this has a lot of stuff in it that I'm not necessarily going to need. But let's see here. I can come in and just say drop it where it lines up like so. Whoop. What do you mean? Something's in the way. That's alright. I do not need all of this extra rail. I don't need that radar. We'll leave everything else kind of as is, except for these extra rail bits. I don't want that little bit sticking in there. Okay, so now I know where I can start with this next setup of these wonderful little things here. And I know right down here I'm not going to have the room because of this. I can get rid of a lot of these, but there's still a little bit of copper there, and I want to use that copper. So I'm going to need to find out how many is this? 4, 8, 12. So I need at least room for 12 belts. And you know, honestly, I could just move these out of the way if I don't have enough room. So the next question is, will I have enough room up here for all of these belts? And I'm fairly certain I do. You're talking about what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. perfect. I can actually just scoot that up one, and that lets me scoot that up one. Okay, well, that's going to come in very handy here. And I can drop in the smelters now. Just trying to visualize this a little bit better. Okay, and that still gives me 8 up here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Sure enough. So I don't have to worry about trying to squeeze the smelting array super far down, because I know that it will go no higher than that right there. So I can just come right on along. I'm going to squeeze it in as tight as I can to the left-hand side, though, because, nope, okay, yeah, so that's the issue here. All right, so cancel all of that. I knew there was a reason why I wanted it further down, and that's because I'm going to run out of space here, and the smelting array is going to have to kind of stick down here. So this is what we've got to do. We have to move this. Got to move this around. What we're going to do is just simply say, I want you to keep going out straight. That way I can bring it around, and I'm probably making a lot of blueprints that I've already got a ton of, and that's okay. It's faster to do this. I'll clean my inventory later. Here we go. There's still rocks over here. Wow, I'm reaching to the point where I haven't cleaned this area up. How interesting. So, I also got a ton of copper there. Let's get these rolling. Don't mind my artillery with atomic artillery shells surrounded by lasers just right here in the base. It's nothing to worry about. That's kind of leftover from many episodes ago when I was having issues when I expanded the base, and oops, there were biters inside of the area that I had claimed, and I started having my factory wrecked. It was no fun, so I put down things to deal with that. I probably should have let that finish. Yeah, should let that finish emptying before I start changing this up. However, looks like it's getting long for this episode, so that's probably going to be it for today. If you enjoyed today's episode, feel free to hit the like button, and if you are new to my channel, consider subscribing if you want to see more content like this. And I will see you all next time.